Good morning, beautiful people. I am jumping on today to do a reading for the collective around the lunar eclipse energies, which I don't know about you guys, but have been really, really intense for me. And that was leading up to, and then we're a few days after it now. And I still feel like the energies are still there. They may not be quite as intense, but it's yeah, it's definitely been a bit of a ride. I do feel like whatever is needing to come up to the surface, anything that's of a lower, denser vibration, needs to go. So it's coming up for release. And yeah, so I just thought that I would jump on and do this reading for the collective, for the lunar eclipse energies, the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So yeah, some pretty intense feels that have been coming up. So I'm going to start with the Rose Oracle, my new deck, which I'm super excited about. It's a Rebecca Campbell deck, and I have already actually pulled 2 cards, or they popped out while I was just infusing the collective energies into them. And the first one was the Crowning, which initiation, thresholds, birth, rebirth, a seat at the table. And this feels very true and real and quite raw, actually. So and this is the kind of energies that I've been feeling too. So the birth and rebirth, you know, like I guess with everything, when we go through stages in our lives, there is constant death and rebirth within ourselves, within our psyche, within our identities, within our attachments, within just how, you know, how we move through life. And I feel like these energies are really about the initiation. Like, are we really truly ready to step forward into the highest vibration that we can be? And are we truly ready to release all that is not serving us anymore? Whether that is relationships, whether that is attachment to anything, people, places, situations, old stories, you know, like what are you still holding on to, and what is ready to and can you actually release that? And a lot of this is wound up in the ego. It feels like it's wound up in the ego and the identities that we believe that we are our ego, and we are not. And when we allow the ego to drop away, what we're left with is our soul and our light. And there is, you know, no need to hold on to old stories. There's no need to attach to anything, you know, like, yeah, and just being in the present moment, which is really, really powerful. So the other one that popped out was Morning Dew, clarity, a fresh start, and a positive outlook. So once again, I mean, it ties in beautifully with that one, you know, like a fresh start. What are you ready to make a fresh start with? You know, maybe maybe things are coming to the forefront that are quite difficult to let go. And when we cling to things, it actually creates this resistance, and the resistant energy makes it even harder to let it go. So, you know, maybe the questions that you could even journal are, what am I ready to release? Or what is it that I am holding on to? What is it that I am really, really like grasping at the final straws of, you know? And can I just let this go? Can I just let it go? And once we do let go of whatever that is, that intense, heavy energy, or, you know, the attachment to who we were, who we are, or even the attachment to the stories that have played out in our lives, And, you know, do we want to keep telling that story, or do we want to create a new story and birth a new story and birth a new us? So, yeah, this feels like that threshold of initiation. You know, are we ready? Are we really ready to step into this really powerful vibrational energy that's coming through? And are we ready for that fresh start? Cool. So this one, the Starseed Oracle. So this is also Rebecca Campbell. So I'm just going to do a little shuffle and ask for any messages to come through for the collective of clarity, love, guidance, support. Okay, we've got one already. A new earth, it's happening. Keep holding the vision. Yes, it is. It is so happening. And if you're anything like me, you might be thinking, why doesn't it hurry the fuck up? And I guess this is part of that initiation, is holding that frequency, holding the vision of what we want to be, and actually being the change that we want in the world. I read this somewhere and this has just come to me. If we want to see a change in the world, we have to be the change first, because we cannot expect anything to change if we're not willing to change. You know, like, we can't look outside of ourselves constantly and go, I want this to change, and I want this person to be like this, and I want this to be like this, if we're not willing to do the work ourselves. So it starts within, with every single one of us. And when we all start really doing the work and holding the vision and being the vision and actually being the change, that's when when we're actually going to see the shifts in our reality right in front of our face. So I guess this is a message that it is happening, and that we do need to keep holding that that message. That vision. We Are the Hathors has come through. Another birthing one. Two have popped out. And the Hathors popped into my mind just before. So interesting. Deep love, mother's milk, birth is a portal. So once again, you know, like, moving through these portals of big change on a collective level. So I feel like this is around our love for ourselves, because once again, it has to come from within first. So how can you love yourself more? How can you right your past wrongs and be less in the defensive? So this one popped out too. I'm sorry. Defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and uprooting. So this is all very much intertwined, because if we want to hold that vision for a new earth and we want to be the change, we also have to let go of all of the egoic structures that hold us in this 3D, you know, kind of construct. And with that, it is a birthing process, so it's painful. And so going through that portal of the birthing process is it's about all of the stuff coming to the surface that is no longer needed or required, or of the frequency where we're going. So it all needs to come up. And, you know, where can we be more in love, more in our heart space, less in the mind, less in the ego? Where can we release the identities that have formed these stories around who we are and what we bring to the world, and yeah, and even the righting past wrongs, that even if this doesn't require you to actually go and, you know, like have that conversation with that person, but maybe this is about actually just the forgiveness of self, and, you know, having this ceremony with yourself and really dropping into that deep forgiveness of all that has been, all that has passed, all that has happened to you, and understanding that it's happened for you, so that, you know, you can be back in that loving space, in that loving heart space. And yeah, you know, the birthing process is never an easy one, but on the other side, of course, is the birth of the baby, or the birth of the new creation. And, you know, is this the birth of new earth? And if we just keep holding that vision for what we want, if we be the change, if we drop into our heart spaces and release the ego, then we can create this world, this new earth, where there is, you know, more love, more presence, more depth within our relationships, more connection to Mother Earth, more connection to ourselves, more connection to others, where our children will feel safer, and where we will all, you know, really drop into that slowing down and actually honouring the cycles and the seasons within us and within nature, and, you know, really disconnect from the matrix and, you know, from all of those systems that have held us bound on this earth as slaves to a system, to many different systems. So yeah, and you know, what new systems can we start creating? So it is a massive uprooting, this one. Oh yeah, so just really felt some jaw tension. So maybe there's some anger here with this card. So karmic board clearing. So this is from the Gateway of Light activation, which is Kyle Gray deck. Karmic board clearing, energetic clearing, rewrite your story, live your truth. So yeah, exactly what I've been saying. And this is, you know, like understanding that we have the power to rewrite our story at any given moment. So whatever it was before, it's in the past, it's gone. And, you know, if we keep rewriting from that old story and from that old past version of you, then we're going to keep, nothing's going to change. We're going to keep recreating the same story, just with different actors, but they'll still be bringing that same energy. So what are you ready to clear on a karmic level? So energetic clearing, rewrite your story, live your truth. And karma is not necessarily so, you know, it's not about right and wrong, good or bad. It is literally, you know, it's a way to see things from every side of the story. And so when, you know, when we have been bound in karmic ties, are we able to drop into the forgiveness and to be able to see why this karma has played out for us, and how can we now release that and not feel bound to that anymore, and actually rewrite the story and come from your deepest inner truth, which is from your heart space. Okay, so abundance downloads, regeneration, success. So success is coming. Well, it is here. It is all here right now. And that regeneration, this is a beautiful card. The central sun, which has so much power and so much ability to recharge us and to replenish us and to remind us of the power that we have within. So I feel like this is even the beautiful wings on this bug. Allow your wings to come to light. Allow them to spread, and abundance is our absolute birthright. All of us, our abundance is our birthright. So when we truly believe that, then it will start to show up in our world. But we have to release all of those old stories. We have to release the old patterning and programming that has come from, you know, the world in which we live. Like, we've all been programmed to believe that we live in a world of lack, and we really do not. We live in a world of abundance, and nature shows us within every season, you know, that there is an abundance, and that there is always regeneration, and there is always success there for us if we are, if we believe that we are worthy of such success. And the crystal skull wisdom, clarity, divine healing, high vibrational energy. So once again, this is calling us forward into our power. Where are we giving our power away, and how can we tap into that high vibrational energy? So I want you to even do a little exercise where you identify all of the drains, all of the power drains in your life, whether it's people, situations, places, low locations, and remove as many of your drains as you can from your life so that you can step into your highest vibrational energy. If this looks like friendships falling away, it's going to happen. It's okay. You know, just know that new friends of a higher vibrational energy will step forward, and you will be delighted in that. Yeah, but we have to let go of the old. We have to let go of that old identity that even is wrapped up in, you know, those people and places and things. Okay, so just releasing and detaching from all of the things, whether it's material objects, whether it's people or places. Okay, so the Oracle of the Essences. So I'm just going to ask which essence is for the highest and greatest good of the collective today. Which essence will we benefit from today? I feel called to say that we, you know, really need to get back to the magic in life and the joy, the pure, blissful joy of just being and just allowing ourselves to connect with nature and people without all of the, you know, like, without all of the busyness and the constructs that hold us bound to this energy of busy and doing and you know, constantly needing to think about things. So this and it's challenging when we've been there our entire lives and we've been programmed this way. So it is unlearning everything that you've ever learned, essentially, and dropping into what can I learn from nature, and how can I slow down, and how can I be present, and how can I drop into the, you know, blissful joy of just being. So the essence that's come through is Helichrysum, the reassurance of subtle energies. And from what I can feel and see in this card, it is about nature. You know, she's in the forest, she's connecting with the beautiful owl. There's a squirrel, there's a deer in the background, there's a cat or a panther or something. So and this ties into what I was just saying, you know, like really connecting with nature and the subtle energies that come from plants. Like everything is alive. Everything has a consciousness in our world, and everything is alive. And therefore, when we tap into that, we really, we can acknowledge and really feel that in our being. You know, how alive are we? Can you feel the blood pumping through your veins? Can you feel the little changes in your energy when you meet a new person, or when you move into a different place? You know, whether you go from the bush to the sea, what's the difference in the subtle energies, and can you feel it? And, you know, when we get better and better at really being present, then we can feel that energy. And that's when we start to open up and be able to see the energy of the plants. And, you know, one step further, seeing the energy of people. And, you know, rather than just feeling it, but actually seeing it. And this is where we're going. And the more we let go of all of the dense crap that has been placed upon us and tap into our high vibrational state, then we will be in our magic, and life will be magical. It is magical. And so it's really tapping into that and our powers. Like, we are powerful multidimensional beings, and we have been programmed to be slaves to a system and to not feel and to not you know, acknowledge these powers. And it's time for us to take that power back. So the final card, or cards, whatever comes through, the angels and ancestors. What have you got for the collective today? For the lunar eclipse energies, what are we feeling? How can we step into our power? Maybe some action steps. What action steps can we take to move forward and step into our power? Make plans and focus. Shield Maiden. And I feel like this is, you know, not from the old concept of make plans and focus, but from this new age, new earth concept of, you know, what is it that you want to create, and then focusing on the desire, taking aligned action when you feel in flow and really connected, and not when you don't feel connected. So really allowing yourself the time and space to not be doing all of the time. Beautiful. And then enjoy the growth and reap the rewards. And this is a really fruitful card, because she's obviously, you know, the apple's connected to nature and connected to the heart space with all of the green. I just want one more. I feel like this one is about dropping the shields around our heart spaces as well, and really dropping into being really real. So, you know, where are we still shielding our hearts? Where are we still hiding facets of ourselves to feel safe in this world, you know? And how can we, maybe the first step is actually giving your space or who you surround yourself in a good overhaul, because of course we're never going to drop our shields around our heart if we don't feel safe with the people around us. So that is probably the first step forward, is to, you know, place ourselves amongst the people and the places that allow us to drop into vulnerability and open our heart and actually really feel safe in doing so. And then, you know, we will enjoy the growth and reap the rewards, because when we do drop those shields around the heart, it allows our soul to grow, to evolve. And, you know, the more that we drop into the realness that's within, and dropping any ego and any old stories, we really do reap the rewards. Like, yeah, there's hard times, and, you know, like even with the birthing process, it can be hard, and it can feel hard, and it can feel heavy at times, but on the other side of that is just so much amazingness, and the magic really starts to unfold. And so I'm going to, okay, so 2 have popped out. Yep. And they are both for us. So trust and thrive, the stag energy. Trust is huge. And we can only thrive if we trust. This is trust in ourselves, trust in the universe, trust in the flow of life. So, you know, even trusting when things are still, and when there's nothing happening, or what seems like nothing is happening, still trusting that you're on the right path. And the hunter, track down your fears and desires. So this is really, if you can face your biggest, grandest fears, then your desires are going to be on the other side. And when we step through that fear with trust, we will be able to overcome the fear. And a lot of fear is actually just ego based anyway, you know, like, what will people think, will people judge me, blah 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 blah. Like, literally nobody is thinking or judging like you think that they are. And if there is judgment, that's actually on them. So when we can actually move to a place of really not caring what other people think, and really understanding that sorry, I just had a text message come through and I lost my train of thought. So track down your fears and desires. Yeah. And move through that fear with ease and grace, and just, you know, like baby steps to begin with, and then the more that you do, the easier it gets, and the more beauty will unfold. So that is the energies for the lunar eclipse energies that has just passed. So I guess this is for the next week or whatever until I do another reading, and I hope that this finds you all well, and I hope that that has helped. If you would like to work one-on-one with me, I do intuitive card reads, personal reads, which can be done online or in person, and I also do Reiki energy healing with intuitive coaching, and I do inner child healing as well with my Reiki healing. So yeah, I will put all of my links below, and have a beautiful week.